Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. Today is one of my traditional topics, one of my favorite topics. We're going to talk about small business ideas for 2021. So if you're interested in starting something that people really need, continue watching this video up to the very end. I'm going to pour I think they're really great. I'm gonna pour some great ideas on you guys. But before you continue watching, like this video, and if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, hit the red subscribe button below. Business idea number one, organic vending machines. Whenever I arrive at a hotel or a motel or whatever, when I see a vending machine, it's normally Coca-Cola, some unhealthy snacks, a lot of sugar, and I wonder, should I just skip this meal and wait for something that is healthy, or should I have a cheat day? An organic vending machine business would be a great business for places where people tend to care more about their health and where they watch what they eat. In 2019, the vending machine market in the United States was over $6,000 million and is projected to be over $7,000 million by 2026. So this market is definitely growing. This business is more suitable for high traffic areas of the city and maybe for a little richer population. The next business idea would provide a solution for parents in California and some other parts of the US where you are required to put your child in a car seat. So the problem is, whenever we want to travel by taxi, I either need to carry my child's car seat, but if we are flying from abroad, we're coming to an airport, this is something that is going to happen to us very soon. I'm a little confused. Our car is in a parking in our friend's house, and we're going to arrive at the airport, and we would need to somehow get back home. And I didn't want to rent a car, but it looks like the only solution for us is to either rent a car, or I found this one service, one company in San Francisco that provides taxis with car seats. Because if you just order Uber or Lyft, yes, you can write a comment that I need a car seat, I have a baby, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the driver that would arrive will have this car seat. And we had this situation a couple of times when the driver arrived and he realized, oh my God, your baby's too small for my car seat, and he just canceled the order. And when you arrive from a transatlantic flight, you don't want someone to cancel on you. You want just to, sit down in your car and go straight home. So my solution here is I'm either asking my friend to bring a car to the airport. I'm gonna rely on that small company. I'm not even sure it's working right now, but we need more businesses like that. We need taxis for children. We need taxis with car seats. And by the way, if you start getting more and more clients in some areas, there is a good potential to be acquired by a bigger company, by a bigger player like Uber or Lyft. And another idea is driver for your car. And again, yes, I know it exists. I know you can find a driver would cost you hundreds and hundreds of bucks. But the problem is there is no the service that makes it available for normal people. Again, in Russia, where I come from, it is really, really easy to find a driver for your car because, for example, you went to a restaurant, you had a couple drinks, you're no longer allowed to drive, and some people would break the rule and they would just start driving. Some people would grab a taxi and then they would have to return the next day to pick up their car. But instead, in Russia, there is a service where you can just call and ask the driver to come and drive your car with you back home. Again, this is amazing. I haven't heard about it in the US. I'm pretty sure it exists in some parts, but it's not that widespread and we need more of it. The next service that I would personally use, I would call it Find a Doctor service, Find a Doctor business. So the problem with insurance is it works with a lot of doctors. For example, I need to find a pediatrician. And there are so many doctors in the area. For example, if I'm in San Francisco, there are 200 pediatricians. And if I go on Yelp, maybe 20 or 30 of them have 5 stars. And you start calling them and they're either on a lunch break or nobody picks up. And when I looked for a doctor for myself, it took me 5 hours to find the right doctor because when I called the office, they would tell me, oh, they're fully booked. Oh, they're not accepting new patients. Oh, do you know that the next available appointment is in 2064? Something like that. I would really use a service where I call you and ask you, hey guys, I need this doctor. This is my problem. This is my insurance. This is how far I want this doctor to be from my home. And this is the minimum rating that I'm looking for. Could you please find me that doctor who would be available to see me within the next 2 weeks? That would be awesome. That would save so much time. By the way, this problem made me hire a personal assistant, a virtual personal assistant, because I just couldn't work have a baby, have a family, and spend 5 hours per day looking for the right doctor for my family because we were new to the area and it took some time to find the right people. Talking about the right people, talking about great connections, I really think that a welcome to the USA service, something like that, would be helpful for immigrants, for workers from other countries, from people who arrive to the US to become a citizen, become a permanent resident. And there are thousands and thousands of people like that every single year. 2020 was a little different, but the trend has been there for decades and it's going to continue. So the problem is when you arrive in the US, in other countries, you don't really have a CPA. Like in a lot of countries, you just file your taxes automatically. If you have a business in the US, if you have something going on in your previous country, then you need a CPA. In other countries, it's not really typical to create a living trust. And I'm reading a lot of books, I'm talking to a lot of people, and they say that the best thing you can do is establish a living trust the day you start a company or the day you start making money. And then you need doctors, you need to rent a car. If you don't have a social security, it's really, really hard to rent an apartment. And I've seen some specialists doing really well in this niche. They're called like Welcome to the USA specialists. They would meet and greet you, and then they would provide the necessary contacts, CPAs, doctors. They would help you rent an apartment. Something like that for your language, if you're bilingual. Something like that even in English would be in really, really high demand because when people come to a new country, especially USA, which is very different from other countries, like even compared to Europe, even compared to Russia, you really need this trusted person in a country to help you with everything. The next idea is also connected to travel, and I saw this kind of business first in Russia. It is called food delivery to the airplane or to the train. So when you're traveling, like we know there are 5-hour flights, 6-hour flights in the US where they don't serve you food. They give you like a bag of chips and that's it. You really need to eat when you fly, and sometimes you just can't prepare the meal. Yes, I take eggs with me, I take some with me, but sometimes I'm in a rush and then I arrive at the airport, and in some airports, everything is closed right now. In some airports, you only have unhealthy stuff that you don't want to eat. And yes, there are some services that would help you order from airport restaurants and deliver that to your gate. But what I'm talking about here is that you prepare meals and deliver them to the airport for people. Healthy in-flight meals. Or you deliver them to the train station half an hour before the train departs or 2 hours prior to the flight. And I want you to be a specialist in it. I want you to prepare food that will be edible when it's cold, that will last for 3, 4, 5 hours, that will be packed in a way that there would be no problems with the TSA and security checkpoints. But again, in Russia, a lot of my friends use this, and healthy food delivery to their train, to their airplane is a great, great service. Another cool business idea. It is kind of starting in the US. One of my Silicon Valley friends has already started this in New York, and they're expanding to San Francisco. It is huge in Russia. It is huge in countries like India and China. This is where you get food delivered within 15 minutes. It's not like your Instacart. It's not Amazon Whole Foods delivery. It doesn't take hours. The way this business works is that people rent an apartment or they rent like a small storage space. They fill the storage space with products that are in really high demand all of the time. You know, milk, chips, beer, toilet paper, sugar, whatever. They create an app, or you can create a website where you can order everything online. And because they only serve the area 15-minute walk or 15-minute bike ride from the storage, they are able to deliver things within 15 minutes. You can start locally if you have like a busy area where you live, and then you can expand. I think this is the future of delivery. Like Amazon has won the market because their delivery times were like 1 day and it was free and free returns. And it was similar to other online shopping websites. But the service is everything these days. And if you're able to deliver things that people need right now in 15 minutes, this is a game changer. People are stuck with you. They're not gonna switch to Instacart. They're not gonna switch to Amazon because 15 minutes is just a completely different mindset. You know, you're cooking something, oh my God, I don't have spaghetti anymore. 15 minutes and they're at your door. Another business idea is something that I'm a huge fan of, is to start a YouTube channel in the area of your expertise. I'm really fond of people who are professionals in some area and who are producing videos about it. Like I've started my YouTube channel talking about TOEFL and GMAT, and I took them myself. I have a 3 million YouTube channel where I talk about the English language because this is my passion and I've been learning it since 7 years, and I took a lot of tests. I won some competitions, like huge national competitions in English. This is something that makes a great income. First of all, you get paid by YouTube, by AdSense. Second, you can have partnerships where companies pay you to advertise their products. Third, you have affiliate links, or you produce your own products like courses or manuals, or you create a physical product. So the opportunity here is amazing. And what I see in the, well, this is my vision for the future. I see that in the next 5 or 10 years, almost everyone would have their YouTube channel or a social media outlet where they post regularly. But the problem is, because there would be more and more influencers, everyone would kind of be a micro-influencer because people can't just follow everyone. But now is still a great time to start. I see a lot of creators on the rise. I see a lot of new ideas flowing around YouTube. And if you want to start in 2021, the link to my course will be below. There, I just gathered my experience of starting 3 YouTube channels. 2 of them have over 1 million followers, and the 3rd channel you're watching right now, they are on completely different topics. But I think the reason why all of them perform well is because I kind of cracked YouTube algorithm. So there are some rules that you can follow to create good content, and the algorithm would pick it up and would help you make a whole business out of it. The link will be below. The next idea. Again, personal chef. And you might tell me in comments below, Marina, but of course, rich people have personal chefs. I'm talking about being a personal chef for, again, normal people. You don't have to be a culinary artist. You don't have to throw dinners for 12 people. I'm talking about day-to-day cooking. More and more people are staying at home. More and more people are working from home. And when you're working from home and when your kid is at home, it's really, really hard. It's a lot harder than working from the office when your kid is with someone. And cooking is like another task that would take some time away from you. I started doing this in the US. I just found a Russian girl who liked to cook, and I started paying her by hour, and she would come and she would cook for us for 5 or 6 hours, and she would cook enough food that would last us for 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, because sometimes she did frozen food. You can start as a one-person business. You just create a website, you advertise around your area, you give people leaflets with menus that you can provide and say, hey, I can cook for you every Monday from 1 to 5 p.m. You choose from the menu that I've provided, and then you have all the recipes. You come. You can also create an additional service where you buy all the products. I would use the service 100%. And I know a lot of moms and professionals who care about what they eat, who really love home-cooked food, but they just don't have time for it, and they're willing to pay extra cash for someone to come and cook for them. The next idea is a little more complicated from the ones that I mentioned before, just because it is a small business idea, but it requires some knowledge and it requires some work before you can actually start. This is called direct access testing. And what I mean by that is, again, something I've seen in other countries. When you want to draw blood and check your vitamin D levels, iron levels, I don't know, whatever, I just like to check things because I take a lot of supplements. And yes, I have a doctor, but instead of calling her every time and asking her for a lab request, I just do that myself every 3 months because I want to track my health. And for example, again, in Russia and some other countries, you can just come to a private lab and say, hey, I need this, 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 and this. They would run a test on you. They would give you the results. That's it. I know there are some issues with it. I know that sometimes you can get too scared or disregard a result that should have been important, and it's important to consult with your doctor. But if you're doing this for the 20th time in your life, if you're just checking your vitamin D level, I'm pretty sure you can do that by yourself. And a lot of people are biohacking these days, taking supplements, and it's a lot worse to take supplements without knowing your current vitamin level than just testing it regularly and adjusting the doses with your doctor. So some states in the US prohibit those kind of testing, but 37 states allow that. And again, there are some issues. There are some labs. I know there is like a big website where you can order a test online, and then you go to either LabCorp or another big lab and they run a test on you. But the problem with that is that the test that you can order without a doctor's prescription, the list is really, really limited. And it wasn't enough for me. For example, in California, I had to find a doctor, explain what I need, get this lab request, and again, go to the lab. So it's a little complicated. When you have labs available to people, of course, when you understand the audience that needs that kind of testing, like biohackers or people who take a lot of supplements, you can have a doctor on site, and that solves a lot of legal problems. Again, I'm not a specialist here. I'm just talking about how other labs work in other countries. You need to research what's going on in your state. But again, I see these businesses exploding in a lot of countries. Like Russia has labs everywhere. People line up to see what's happening with their bodies. So something to explore here. The next service that I really need, and everything is coming from my problems. I love all the ideas that I mentioned in this video, and if I had passion for them, I would have started them by myself, but I have passion for some other things. I have passion for YouTube, I have passion for languages, so I'm doing what I'm passionate about. But if you're passionate for ideas that I mentioned here, go ahead, try. You know, we only live once, and we want to help people with these ideas. So the next idea, pack and move service, where people not just take your boxes and move you, but where people help you with packing. Like they take your makeup and they pack everything. They take care of everything. So they just come to your apartment, you say, okay, see you in the evening in the new apartment. And they move everything completely so you don't have to do any packing. And again, I've seen some services like that. They are not available everywhere, not in every single state. In San Francisco, I've seen maybe a couple. And there is a lot of demand right now. People are moving out of San Francisco. People are moving to towns. A lot of my friends moved to LA. And this is something they would really use. Because packing for me, when we moved out of our San Francisco apartment, it took us a month. Because we had so much stuff and I didn't want to do everything in 2 days. We just started doing everything slowly and gradually, and we lived surrounded by boxes. The next app or service in Uber for manicure and haircut. Something that will make it accessible for people to invite a hairstylist or a manicure specialist to their homes. You can either start it as a specialist yourself. For example, if you're a hairdresser, you can start a website, call me and I will come to your house. Or you can create an app where people see available specialists right now who are able to come on demand, which means they're able to come in the next hour. This on-demand things, again, it changes everything. We are in the world where we want everything instantly. We hate planning. So if you're building a service, whatever I mentioned here, it is a game changer if it's available on demand. And I know when you're starting small, this is not actually doable, but once you grow, have this in your mind. On demand is really important. And the faster you are, the bigger chances that you'll be able to beat bigger corporations in your area and potentially either be acquired by a big corporation or compete with them on the same level. The market for the next idea is going to be huge. It is huge right now. Well, it was 4.4 billion in 2018, and it's expected to be 63 billion by 2025. That is a little more than 10x. And I'm talking about, attention, a drone videographer. So first of all, if you know how to operate a drone, if you know how to create a footage for a drone, you can be a filmmaker, you can create movies, you can create footage for ads, you can work with bloggers. Second, you can film different events like weddings or business events. Third, there are a lot of industries that rely on images from drones like agriculture, oil and gas, civil engineering industries, and they really need specialists like you. They need small businesses that help hire such contractors. Then there would be drone delivery. I'm hoping in the next couple of years. And again, we would need people who know how to operate drones. So if you're looking for a skill to hone in 2021, drone operating might be that skill. Smart home contractor. The market for these specialists, for these businesses, is gonna double in the next 5 years. And what they teach us in Silicon Valley, always look at markets that are scaling. What is a smart home contractor? So for example, somebody's building a house and they need to make it a smart home. You need cameras, you need to operate the lights, you need to operate the fridge, like etc., etc., etc. Somebody who would come, take a look at your house, take a look at your project, and come up with a list of possible solutions and create the whole system for you. This is a smart home contractor. This could either be a specialist, or you can create a business where you have certain specialists in your company and you work as a contractor with either families or other businesses who are looking for a smart home. Another business is already rising, but I see it rising in bigger cities and I see demand for it in smaller cities. This business is called decluttering services or professional organizers. I'm pretty sure you saw those Instagram pages where everything is perfectly organized, where you see wardrobes where clothes are organized by colors. And Marie Kondo, who wrote a bestseller about decluttering, and she has her Netflix show, made this mainstream, which is amazing. And there are some specialists that are following her methods. Some people come with their own solutions, but a lot of families A lot of people are working from home. They're realizing how much stuff they have, and if they get rid of that stuff or organize it, they would have an extra room in their house. So this is something that people are looking for right now. Thank you guys for watching this video up to the very end. I am looking forward to your comments. Like, if you notice that I mentioned an idea and it's really huge in your city, let me know. If you notice there is an idea that really needs other people's attention because you love it, comment down below. We need your comments. I need your feedback. It's really important because everyone has a different attitude. Everybody has a different life, and I'm really looking forward to reading about your experience and about your ideas in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. Subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed, and I'll see you very soon in the next videos. Bye bye.